Oh, the day I woke up.
Yes.
All right. So look. I said I knew something was up. Like I said, I got up, did my usual routine, and I'm in the car, and every morning I pray before I go to work. You know what I mean? So I was just praying, like, and the prayer got like really deep. So I got to work, and was doing my morning routine. And we got a call. This is the same day that I had put a transfer request in to go to a specialized unit.
Yeah.
So one of the troopers, since I wasn't allowed to drive, he took it over to the headquarters out of the unit. So we got a call, and apparently whoever called, they spoke to the sergeant that was working that day, and he was like, hey, are you crazy? You allowed Richardson to put in a transfer request? And the sergeant's like, I don't know anything was going on. This is not my squad. I'm filling in for somebody. So he was like, listen, you guys have the higher ups that are on their way over there. The brass, we call it brass. Like the brass is coming. So they're like, okay. So he hangs the phone up. Tell, hey guys, the brass is coming. Tighten up. Everybody in the brass, the bowls get tight. Mm-hmm. So they all fixing their stuff, doing the whole nine. Me, I couldn't do anything, so I'm on the desk anyway. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't got to shine nothing. I'm good.
Yeah.
So about 20 minutes later, my lieutenant came in, and he's like, yeah, the brass is coming. I don't know what they're here for. I don't know why they're coming, but they're coming. I'm like, all right. So he comes by. He's like, hey, Rich. He said, you have a minute? So I'm like, sure. He was like, well, and they came in through the back door, and he was like, well, OPS is here for your interview. So you're OPS, internal affairs. I'm like, okay, they're fine for my interview. I can talk about, this complaint, and we can get back. I can get back on the road.
Yeah.
I can get back working again.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. So it's like he's all nervous. He's disheveled. He's like, I don't know what they're here for, man, but let them hear whatever they want to hear. So I'm like, whatever you want to hear. I'm like, I'm letting them hear the truth. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm like, all right. So I went to the bathroom, and I went to his office, and it was the major. The major was in his office, and he was like, here, OPS here for your interview. I'm like, okay, yeah. So he's like, before you go in, can you hand your gun over to your lieutenant? And I'm like, I mean, this is like, my first time at the rodeo, so I'm like, all right, whatever. I handed it over to him, and they took me through this like other hall, not other hall, but the other entrance or whatever. Yeah. So I went to go exit through the back of his office through the detective bureau, and they're like, no, you're gonna go around the front. So I went around the front. I went to the room, the interview room, and there were two troopers there from the OPS department, or our internal affairs department. One of the sergeants was my sergeant while I was on the expressway. So I was under his watch. So he's like, hey, he was like, I'm like, hey, Sarge, he was like, hey, I don't want to meet under these circumstances. But I'm like, hey, whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I said, shouldn't my union rep be here? And they were like, no, not for this. So I'm like, huh? I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? So it was a guy that was working on my squad who was my union rep. And right before they brought me in the back, they sent him to Wawa. They were like,
yeah, I was like, how you not gonna be represented?
They were like, no, Mike's not here. I'm like, huh? They were like, yeah, but your union rep, shouldn't be here. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, obviously we're here to talk about the car stop. Yeah. So you want to talk about it? So I'm like, yeah, sure. You know what I mean? You didn't, you kind of, lessened my attention a little bit. You told me it's about the car stop. Yeah. You told me that, my union rep didn't have to be here, so I'm thinking it's not as serious. And, like you were my sergeant on the expressway. So if anything was serious, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you'd be like, I can't take this. That should be considered conflict. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if I'm your sergeant and someone accused you of doing all these things, as your sergeant, I should have caught those things when they quote unquote happen. Yeah. Because every month they have a review of our car stops. So if I'm out there acting like a park gate,
he's not managing with it.
Right. Somebody's going to say, hey, Rich, you know what I mean? What's going on with this car stop? What's going on with that? That never happened. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, cool. So we go ahead, we continue with the interview. And they talk about the car stops, and they talk about the interaction after female, and then he was like, okay, well, everything's accurate. So I'm like, okay, all right, and I'm about to get up. He said, whoa. Can you tell me about And he says an individual name, and I'm not going to say names because I'm not here to glorify them. I don't care what their names in general, but I'm not here to glorify them. You know what I mean? They had their time. This is my 2 years of silence right here.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah. I said, I know that person. He's like, well, how do you know her? I said, well, she's from Camden. I said, I know her sister, and I said, I know her. Okay. So I'm like, where are you going with this? He said, tell me what happened when you stopped her. Like I need a little bit more detail.
Yeah.
Tell me when you stopped her in August. I said, absolutely. I said, I stopped her in August. She was speeding. She was going over 100 miles an hour at the time. I said, so I conducted a car stop. I don't sit there. First of all, I don't have X-ray vision. You know what I mean? So if I'm in the center median on the expressway and you're going 100 miles an hour, I can say,
like, hey, that wasn't it?
Hey, that's it. Yeah, we'll stop. You know what I mean? So I conducted the stop and I said, her paperwork's messed up, registration, license was suspended. She had multiple warrants. Her car had to get towed. But once again, I'm a human, so I'm not going to crucify you per se. So what I do is, I listen. It's a protocol. I got to check your car. I got to do X, Y, and Z. However, I'm gonna call the courts. I'm gonna get you a court date. Okay, so that way I'm gonna take you to jail. Boom. That's what I did that day. That was August. So like, okay. They're like, so what happened when you stopped her again? And I'm like, I don't recall stopping her again. I'm like, I stopped hundreds. I believe my number was 956 car stops in 2016, and I got there late February.
Yeah.
So listen. Shout out to the Kansas City School District. They told us anything more than a 5, you rounded. Yeah, so that's 1,000 car stops.
You over 950.
You rounded. Yeah. That's the system. So I stopped 1,000 car stops. So I'm like, I don't recall, I don't remember stopping her again. So they gave me a little more detail, and they remember stopping her on, December. So I'm like, December. I'm like, well, I've seen her passing the toll booth, because, like I said, I get out and I stand near the toll basket, so I've seen her a couple of times after that. So they're like, so I'm like, I've seen her. I had a couple, like 2 or 3 other interactions with her, but it wasn't about my car stuff. It was just, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I'm like, they're like, oh, so, Lieutenant Santiago, and I'm going to say his name specifically because I believe he has a personal vendetta against minorities. And you can, once again, Google, and a trooper actually sued New York State Police with him being involved in it, and that's considered, playing a race card for the most part. So I remember him saying, he stood in the interview and he said, it's okay, you can tell us that you took this job to wear a cool uniform to pull over pretty females.
That's what he said in the interview?
That's what he said in the interview.
Wow.
Lieutenant Santiago.
Man,
I hope he's listening.
Yeah, what was it?
I hope he's listening. I got his badge number and everything too. So
at that moment, did you feel like?
I kind of like honed in on what he said, and I said, that's not why I took this job. And it, sidebar, not for nothing, but if anybody knows me, the uniform is the last thing I need to talk to a female. You went to school with me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just keeping it real, you know what I'm saying? That's with anybody, you know what I mean? I don't need a uniform to get, no. I mean, even go out and address people and say, oh, I'm a state trooper, that's nothing to do with the other. So I said, no, that's not the case at all. So the other trooper interjected and he said, okay, let's get back to the car stop. And he's like, do you remember stopping? I said, hold on, wait, man. So he's talking. I said, okay. I said, I did. I do remember having an interaction with her in December. So he's like, yeah. So because he was talking more about the stop. So I said, yeah. I said, I did a random tag search, what we have in the system. And I said it popped up that the car that I believe it was the registration had expired or whatever. So I called a stop out. Conducted the car stop, and I get out to approach the car, and when I get out the car, I see it's her. So I'm like, what's up? You know what I mean? She like, hey. So I'm like, yo, your paperwork messed up. She like, no, it's not. Like, I went to DMV last week. There's my paper right here. So I'm like, all right, well, cool. Go to DMV. I'm like, just hold on a second. So I stopped because, well, keep in mind, the car stop is recorded, right? But I see that it's you, Sid. You told me paperwork straight. So hold on, because let me go back and update the system. Yeah. So I went back and I told my dispatch, right, that I'm okay on the car stop, and I'm going through the procedures of updating the car stop, and I inadvertently called her a male instead of a female. So that's what he said, that I was changing the identity of the drivers to cover it up. That wasn't the fact at all. Like I said, you can check my numbers, you can fact check me. There's no need to do that. So we're talking about this stop per se, and I'm like, no, like this, like, no, you know what I mean? Like, that's not the case. So I went ahead and continued on, and the sergeant at the time, Naviger, shout out to Naviger, who was my sergeant on the expressway, who, whatever, how that go. So so he's like, well, listen, this pretty much concludes our interview. What you said was pretty much accurate with what we had. So I'm like, okay. At this time, he proceeded to reach behind him, look into his briefcase, and pull out this piece of paper. And he says, well, you have been criminally charged with boom. I said, whoa. Criminally charged? What do you mean criminally charged? Oh, yeah, what's going on? We can charge it.
Definitely.
So the charges were already typed up. They were already done. And they charged me right then and there. At this point, my world went like this. It's just muffled. I'm like, that's how I just heard. I'm like, huh? Like, that's all I heard. So I'm like, whoa, like, what just happened right now? You know what I mean? And like, he's like, oh, the interview was a criminal interview, and and I said, oh, wait a minute, what just happened? They leave out the room, and the guy, my unit rep, just came back into the station. So my unit rep comes in, he's like, oh, what's going on here? He's like, what's going on here? And they're like, well, we interviewed, Richardson for the most part. And he's like, whoa, he's like, Rich, what did you say? I'm like, man, I said what I had to say, you know what I mean? Like, where were you? You know what I mean? He's like, I wasn't here, I had to go to Trenton. I'm like, yo, like, you know what I mean? So he's like, don't say anything. I'm like, I already spoke my piece. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on at this time? So, that was when they pretty much came in, and I found out. I actually, when I go to the bathroom, and they're like, hold on, we have to see it. I'm like, what do you mean you have to see it? I go to the bathroom. The bathroom's right there. So, the guy went back and said, oh yeah, you're good to go to the bathroom. So I'm walking to the bathroom down the hallway. I'm getting escorted by my union rep, who's a trooper, right, to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, Mike, so what the hell's going on? He was like, dude, the entire Department of Justice and the Attorney General's office are here and heard everything for your interview. I said, I didn't know, what the hell is this? As we're walking down the hallway, the detective bureau, remember when, like I said, I tried to go through the detective bureau in the beginning to go to the interview room, and they told me no. That conference room was filled with all the members of the DOJ, the AG's office, members of the state police, and they all sat and watched my interview. So they were there to charge me regardless of what I said anyway. Show me what you have. Because even the stuff that you're, like, minimal, this should have been maybe a suspension. A write-up, definitely a sit-down. Because the white boys do it, you pat them on the back, have them sit down with them all the time, brushing under the rug.